Welcome back. Today we're going to be continuing the work on this 1967 Mercury Cougar. This is the second episode of this. Last time we just took a lot of stuff off. That's about all we did. We did some other things here and there. But today I got to get the suspension out. I want to get the brakes all torn apart, get the lines out. We won't be putting the brakes back together or the lines or any of that, I don't think. But at some point here, I don't know if it'll be in this episode or not, but we have to entirely strip this down, weld a lot, straighten a lot of things out, pull dents out of this little subframe, and then paint it. And then we can finally get to the brakes and putting the suspension back. But for now, it's going to be a lot of ripping apart, and to be honest, that's what I really like doing. So, yeah, we got some cracks in the shock tower, typical Ford Motor Company things, specific, because this is kind of like a Falcon suspension, and it has these massive shock towers in here that makes it really hard to do anything in your engine. So it's much easier when everything is gone. So that's the idea. I can give you a quick tour around this in case you haven't seen it before, but this is a fairly rust-free Cougar. You can probably hear the fan going for the stove. It is winter time here up north, so pretty good condition actually for where it's from, at least. It wasn't originally from here, but it got here at some point. So a little recap of what I've done to it so far. Just take everything off in the front, put a new steering column in it. I will have to take that out eventually. It's pretty easy to take out, well, really easy. I have a video on me putting that in there, but this car has been in a wreck, that's for sure. At some point, the front bumper's sitting here, and a car must have hit it, or it hit a car, this car, because the entire thing is kind of, boop. All these front panels, actually, on the driver's side, where the headlights and all those assemblies go in, and where the fender connects, there's a whole lot of connections right over there. It's actually broke off at the bottom of the frame rail. No, the frame rail isn't broke or anything, but where that flat piece connects to the frame rail broke. So yeah, it had some type of collision like this. So there's a lot of work to do up there to get things straight again. And on top of that, of things being cracked and bent, is, well, it's rusty. I'll show you. So yeah, to look around here, as you see, steering column, only nice thing in here. We have to replace that vacuum booster and the master reservoir. That's getting replaced. I have the parts just sitting over there. But if we look around here, it's not all that rusty around the real structural components. You know what I mean? But you know, we start making our way around the car, it gets a little rusty. Okay, not too bad. Rusted down there, as you might have saw. Oh yeah, it's coming along. Now, we go inside. Oh wait, there we go. Now you can see floorboards rusted through both sides. And, oh man, can you see that in the back of the trunk? Yeah, there's definitely some space there. So, it's not perfect by any means. I've started kind of tearing the dash apart a little bit. I have a new dash pad for this too. Originally, this interior was red as the car, but most of the panels have been switched over to black, like all of them, except the dash pad. So I ordered a black dash pad because I'm not going to buy all new red panels, right? Although a red interior would look pretty nice with a black car, maybe. Black car, red interior. Think about it. Thinking? Imagining? Yeah, it would look really nice. But no, we're going to have to do a black interior. That's just the way it goes. So yeah, If you didn't know the plans, we are putting a 5-speed manual in this and a 351 roller, so a newer 351. Of course, that 351 will still be a dog. It's from a truck, and you know, back in the day, this thing had a 390 in it, probably making 320 horsepower. Well, I'm gonna be making 220, maybe, maybe. You know, that's with open headers. So, yeah, we got our work cut out for us. There is a lot to do. The more you touch on this car, the more problems you run into. I'm serious about that. Well, I was going to show you the inside, but like the air ducts are all just, I mean, it's, what do you do, right? It's an old car. I don't know how I'm going to get inside the cowl here. Is there a way, or do I have to fully take these welded seams off and come back later and take this whole thing out? Because I don't think there's any like bolts or anything that you can just lift this off with or anything. So, because you look down in there, I mean, it's not terrible, but I would like to get something in there. I see there's a little rubber grommet. I suppose I could just blow air through it and then treat it inside with like cavity wax or something, but still I'd like to get in there and clean it all out. I've started scraping the undercoating off. Oh yeah, that's what we were doing last episode. A lot of undercoating scrapage, at least off camera for me. So I still have some, but we got to get this suspension stuff out so I can scrape even more undercoating off, get everything cleaned out. Let's get to it. First thing, I'm going to take this little shock tower shield off, coil spring shield, I don't know what you call it. Actually has the rubber on the bottom for bottoming out. I don't know if the other side does. For anything 1960s car related, you can assume 80% of the bolts are a 1/2 inch. So, and what's actually nice about these bolts and stuff, I've realized, the quality of them was so much better back then. Yeah, they're completely rusted out and stripped, but, or they're not stripped, that's my point. They're rusted out, the threads are all gobbered up, but the bolt itself, it's very hard to get marred, it seems like. And they don't snap, but they do spin. That's very true. So, I thought these were just, I thought the nut on the other side here, so I'm trying to take these bolts out, I thought the nut on this side was welded or something in place, because that would make sense to me. But it's not, so got to get a 1/2 inch wrench. Now, you're looking for a 1/2 inch wrench, right? But specifically the China brand. Make sure it only says China, not even a tool brand. That's the one you want to use. Trust me, I've been doing this not that long. So, oh yeah, man, oh, that's okay. What do you guys like? Let me know, DeWalt or Milwaukee? It seems like my dad, he's in the trades, everyone's using Milwaukee there. We have a few Milwaukee tools around the shop here too, but I don't know, DeWalt seems a little bit cheaper always. And if you look at like Torque Test channel, I watch that sometimes, it seems that their numbers are just like this close to Milwaukee, like it's almost there, so who really cares? Also, I think we have some DeWalt tools in here from like 2010, battery tools. So they don't work, but actually I think I might have burnt them. But they did work to an extent. The point is they would still run, right? Not a lot of torque. But I had a Milwaukee Impact, I didn't, but it was from 2016, which is pretty old, right? 8 years. And it's been used around the farm here a lot, so I guess it was really abused, but there was nothing to it, it just gave out. You could give it a little bit here and there, but it just had enough of its life. So, I don't know, does it really matter? It does, but no. I just have a few more not Milwaukee, DeWalt tools than I do Milwaukee. So I just buy DeWalt. Also, personally, I do not like Milwaukee battery chargers and the battery design itself. DeWalt is so easy to put a battery on and take it off. Also, you don't have problems of it rattling loose like you do on a Milwaukee sometimes. So, you know, pros and cons, I guess. Also, I think DeWalt was the first to have this light, like the 3 action. Milwaukee has it now, but DeWalt had it first, right? But I was tightening it there for a second. Oopsies. Just look at this. How nice and compact this thing is. It's got a lot of torque. The socket is near longer than the head. Pretty amazing. Oh, is it gonna fall? Yep, it is gonna fall. Okay. Now, what am I saying? Pop the shock out, right? Yeah. All right, now to take the shocks out. Sorry, I was looking at these weird little like white crystally balls here on the coil spring. Can you see that? I'm not gonna question it. So it looks like we got 2 nuts to take off these studs on the bottom for the shock. If I can maybe reach it here. Yep. Oh, yep, there we go. Nope, other way. Okay, got that. This one on the outside, I'll just have to get with a, I was gonna say a ratchet, but that doesn't work. Got to get a smaller one here quick. Although sometimes it's inconvenient that it's 3/8 because I have quite a few sockets that are 1/4 inch. This 3/8 drive gear wrench ratchet 90 tooth is just my favorite ratchet really of all time. Oh, just love it. But here's this little icon one from the Hobo Freight. Nope, I was going the wrong way again. Yeah. There we go. Felt like I heard something crack. That's odd. Just ignore that. Yep. Oh. Oh, so that's how it works, eh? Well, okay. Good to know. So, yeah. Okay, I didn't know that there was that much tension on these. So it looks like we're gonna have to put our tension tool on the coil spring first before we do anything else. Maybe? I don't know, actually, because theoretically, I thought you were supposed to take the shock out. I guess now I can. And then you put a internal retractor inside. There's specific ones that are real long that you can fish through. But you have to get the beep beep boop boop. What am I thinking of? You have to get the thing out. Well, what's it called? The shock. You have to get the shock out. So if you have to get the shock out, you have to take these out. And then certainly those two on the bottom too. So I don't know, maybe on the other side I'll do it the other way. I'll take these out first and then those. And also I will be out of the line of fire. I think that'll be the plan. Well, now that the tension is very obviously off, unloaded, I can take these off quick. Yep. Okay. should just come out, right? Or am I doing something wrong? I don't know. Okay, it should not just come out. Right. Well, I really don't understand this. How in the hell? What? Okay, so that's a thing. Well, then I'm still confused because there's specific ones or whatever made. Where's it? Made in Japan. Oh, okay. I was rating the shocks. No, there's specific ones that you slide down into the shock tower, right? And then you compress it from the inside, the coil. So, what's going on here? I don't. What? How do you get this thing out? Kidding me? Fine. I actually didn't want it out. That was the plan. What is this? ½ inch on the top? Nope. Actually, it might be, but my socket doesn't fit down deep enough. I'll go get the impact and we'll see if we die. So I finally got that in there. What I had to end up doing is taking one of those linkages off at the top, sliding it down in, and then reassembling it within the coil spring. So it worked. Just took a little bit more effort. Now we're just going to slowly tighten this and it should compress the coil. This is what I've been told. So, see what happens here. I really want to use the impact, but I feel like maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Should I? It's like the devil calling you. I feel like we're not doing that much compressing yet. Or are we? I don't know. The bottom two are hooked really good. The top one of those little linkages, not hooked as well. It's only hooked good on one side where it's lower. The other side, I guess, just couldn't bother. We are definitely compressing. Now my question is like, how much do you have to go before it's good? Or before you run the stud down into the metal part, you know what I mean? That can't be good for anyone. Well, yeah, you should have told me, come on. Now I gotta let this back down, I guess. Because it's just this black stud part is too long, I guess. I made it too long. So we'll release the tension. Hopefully it doesn't fly out and kill me. Or the camera, I guess it would be. It's really making a lot of sounds down there, you know. I wonder how much of a divot I made driving the end of that stud into the metal. Oh well, you live, you learn, I suppose. So I have actually made the discovery that this is too long, in fact. There's really no way around it with this type of system. So I'm gonna have to cut it off, probably about here with the chop saw, and then I'll put it back in there and see if we can actually retract the coil properly. So that'll be for tomorrow morning, because tonight it is, it's pretty late. It's time to go in, is how late it is. So, yeah, I'm gonna not clean up because I'll be back in the morning. Let me shut the lights off, head in the house, get some rest, and we'll be back tomorrow. All right, we got the bolt here. Next morning here, so well rested, should be able to see what I'm doing. I'm gonna cut about 2 inches off, probably. That might do it. Actually, I'm gonna cut a little bit less, maybe like 1.5 inches. we'll try that. If you look there, we have a little bit of a taper to it. This should be able to thread on. And it does thread, perfect. Hardly takes any effort to get it started. So yeah, that's good. If you look here, you can kind of see the taper I made. I'll probably put a little bit of paint on this afterwards. What seems to work is for this top one, you only put one little claw on it, and then you assemble the other one while it's in the coil. So first I'm going to lower these ones in. Got to be fairly careful here, as this is kind of loose. But I should be able to hook those around, and then I can come up top. Maybe. It's kind of tough working in this angle or with all these little coils. Okay, I got the top one hooked on, and the top one isn't threaded, so now I got to put this little hook through, because like I said, I can't get this retractor in side of the coil unless I take one of them out on the top. Just got to thread it back in here. I'm going to use my impact here to try and adjust everything properly. And that's weird. Isn't there supposed to be 3 studs? Where'd the third one go? What? Sure. Yeah. Okay. What in the world? There's definitely 3 studs here, right? Yes. Okay. Well, who knows? Okay, we got it in all nice and proper. I'm going to slowly start ratcheting this up, tighten it. I did have to, so I took out about a total of 2.5 inches. I had to go back and take more out of this. Otherwise, it would bottom out at the bottom. This is just the way it has to work. I'm hoping I'll have enough clearance now. Starting to pop. Yep, we are retracting. And the coil has not sprung out, so that's good. I think I have it enough out of the way. I'm going to try and carefully pull this out. The stud is still pretty long. It's actually into the little shock seat there, or whatever you want to call it. We're loose here, but I don't know if we can get it out. Yep. There she is. Huh. Flies apart into the camera. Yeah. Now, as you can see, much more room to work with. So I'm going to retract that coil, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Up next here, I'm going to want to take out this throttle linkage and the pedal inside, because again, I'm just trying to get everything cleared out. Eventually we'll have to get to the power steering and still the brakes. But I'm going to go ahead, get in here. There is one. I'll show you in there. Can you see it? Yep, there's one. What is that? Is that a Phillips? There is one stripped Phillips screw here. that holds the pedalage on, and then once you get that out, you can put the rod through the firewall. So I have soaked it with plaster for probably the past 2 days. After the first time I was going to crank on it and, you know, stripped. So see what I can do here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try this Phillips 3. I almost need a camera back there so I can actually see where it is, because you can't get your head in there. Okay, I'm on it. Really try and push into it. That's why I have this wood block. Oh, that's tightening. Okay, come on. Who in the right mind invented the Phillips screw? I tell you, probably a guy named Philip, right? But it is just the worst for all things, I swear. I can't get on this. I'm really trying to put a lot of pressure on it, but then the thing, it doesn't work, is what I'm saying here. Nope. So, what do you do in this situation? I have no idea. I think I'm just gonna cut this rod off. I cannot get that out. I'm not gonna mess around with an extractor. Probably won't work. I don't know if I even have enough room to get one in there, and then you have to drill it out, and you can't see. That's the problem. You can't see what you're doing back there. So I'm just gonna cut this out with the die grinder, I suppose, and if we want to reuse it, we'll just have to weld the rod back up. I suppose that's not the worst. All right, she's getting cut here. Made my choice. Try and cut it straight, maybe, if I can. That is tough to cut. Holy. Wow. Is this not steel? Did I make a mistake? Jesus Christ. I might have made a mistake here. Yeah. What this is starting to feel like a mistake. Can't lie. Okay, we're getting through it now. I think it was just the way I was cutting it was really problematic. It has a very distinct smell, I'll say that. I don't know what that is. There's your pedal. All of that work just to get this out. I tell you what, that looks like, what is that? That's a little smaller than 7/16, I think. Throw my hose out of the way. Oh, 3/8 maybe? I'll try that. 3/8, come on. Yep. Knew it. There. Slid right out. Huh. Who would have thought it'd be so easy? It is what it is. I'll go put this on the 1,000,000-yard long parts pile. It is really stacking up. I'm having a hard time figuring out, I'm running out of boxes or labels and containers. I got to put all this stuff in. Ziplocs. I got my Icon anti-slip wrenches here. $70. Could you believe that? I'm going to try and take off these little brake lines here. One of them is already a little bit rounded off. Take them off the master, and then well, a flare. What do you call it? Flare nut wrench or whatever. That would be the best thing. But these anti-slips might work. Okay, they're slipping already. Perfect. Well, that's fun. Okay, we're totally stripped. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Let's try the next one, maybe. Let's try her here. I gotta think about which way I'm going. We're doing it this way. Yep. A few yanks. You don't want to go too slow. If you go too slow, I think they strip more. But if you just bump them quick, it's better. So at least we got this left one. If I could get off of it here now. And I should check. I don't even know if this thing has fluid. I guess that would work. Is that how it's supposed to go? Which way does this thing hold on to it? I don't know. How do you get this cap off? There. Okay. Certainly has fluid, and it looks like my coffee. So, and my coffee's black. So that's not great. What would make sense is if you just drained it out of the lines. That would make a lot of sense. But I kind of just want to take this stuff off first for the fun of it. I don't know why, but this is what I'm doing. Oh yeah, this is going to take some paper towels, that's for sure. Not bad. I'll go ahead, finish taking this flange all the way out, whatever. Oh, yep, getting the brake fluid all over the wrench like I planned. Perfect. Just a lot of wrench moving here. Shove this in here, real precise like. I wonder, is this original Motorcraft? Does it say? I don't know. It says made in the USA, so that's good at least. I will be replacing these, probably with one made in China, naturally. Maybe it's Taiwan, you never know. One thing I realized when taking the suspension apart, there's no sway bar in this car. I do see the clamps, or at least I believe to be the clamps, but there is no sway bar or the little linkages. So I'll have to order those. It's possible. Oh. Hey, Marley, what are you doing? Huh? I think my dog is trying to bury her meat in the ash bucket, possibly. Clean these wrenches off, barely enough, the right amount. Put them away. I'm going to try a vice grip, see what happens. Okay, we got it loose. I'm going to grab my Knipex, and I should be able to just take it off real nice like now. Yep. These are my favorite set of pliers, the Knipex Cobra adjustable pliers. Works wonders. They've had quite a bit of use on them already, but they're good. I have a needle nose of theirs too that I got a warranty. Forget what I was using it for, but the ends kind of split off a little bit. They're not very straight anymore. Okay, both of those are out now. Looks like there's 2 bolts. Yes. Yeah, 2 bolts, 1/2 inch, my guess. Should really just grab a ratcheting wrench, although I think it's lost. Not a 1/2 inch. I was wrong. Okay. 9/16. Yep. They really don't give you a lot of room to work here, these Ford people. Oh, well, that's unique. So you can't take off the master without taking off the booster too? What? Yeah, no. That's cool. All right. Fun little Ford design there for you. I am not joking. Look, there's how do you, what? Explain, Ford Motor Company. Why would you do this? All right, here's what this looks like with the booster and master removed. See my nice, beautiful steering column. I have to take this out because I have to get the gearbox out to try and tighten it up and possibly rebuild it or order a rebuilt one or a new one. So, yeah, that's a thing. I have yet to find out what this vacuum is for. I do not know this line. It goes through the firewall and it splits into two. Actually, it is two. It doesn't split into two, but it's two originally. One, I don't know where it leads. It cuts off, and one goes to the parking brake. What? I who knows? That's kind of the problem when you buy a car and it's half torn apart already. You really have to think, research, and analyze. That's what you do in this situation. So, yeah, up next, I'm probably going to start working on brakes now or that steering junk. I don't really want to mess with this, even though I know it'll be easy. I have to take all this off because, we'll have to get all this paint stripped down, everything, start welding stuff and painting it eventually. So it's got to come out at some point. But I don't want to do it now. We'll see. Up next, because I'm thinking ahead so much, I am going to go around with the camera, look at the brake lines, how everything is. That way, when I have everything torn out and painted and maybe weld some holes shut later, I know where the brake lines should be, the new ones. So you have your little, I don't know what you call this, valve here. I forget what it's, divider block valve thing, separate, the valve. And that is, of course, for the 4-drum power brakes. So you have two on the top. They go to the master. Then you have one coming off the side, right? That goes through the shock tower, down over here, through the shock tower, goes down into the rubber, and then it comes into the back. Now, which one would this be? The one right here, that goes over and does the same thing. You can kind of see where it is on the firewall, where the holes are. And then, of course, this one on the outside, that one goes down and back. So when I take this apart next time, I can just come back and watch the video and know how everything goes. So, yeah, I'll have to take this. There's a little nut down there, or bolt. Take that out. Probably have to use my anti-slip wrenches to get a lot of these fittings off. I'll try and start taking the lines apart. Wow, that's really tight fitting there. Have to get another wrench on there to hold back some of that resistance, I suppose. I will be replacing these fittings, so I don't have to worry about them too much getting marred up or anything. There we go. Real, can't get my wrench off here. Real tight fit. Okay. Should spin out fairly easy now. Go ahead and get my seed bags underneath for the brake fluid to drip onto. Again, I try to bust them loose instead of slowly sliding them. Otherwise, I think you have a better chance at stripping them, I believe. That's what it seems like usually. And I don't know if these are not 1/2 inch or what the deal is, but I mean, this is hard to turn here. Hard to get off. I don't know why that's so tough. I don't even know if this is turning, I guess. Am I just stripping? I might be. Yep. Yeah. Got it loose. Really stripped it out, or rounded the Little fitting off there. Not fun getting these off. I don't know what's taking so long. But I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the rest of these, then we'll check in with you. Well, we got that little valve out here. I believe it went where this metal pulled through is where the bolt was. It would be like this on the inside of the firewall. Pretty sure. Got to take this out here now. Guessing 1/2 inch again. At least, no, no, it's not. I should have looked first, I suppose. Yeah, not 1/2 inch. So we'll have to take that little one off first. That's 3/8. Pretty positive. Yep. And we'll have to put a 7/16 on the bottom. And we can take this one out real quick. How many lights do I need? Wow. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, 2. Why not? This one on the bottom here. And this one. Let's do it this way. How much does it matter that you have the wrenches in the right direction? I don't know. And we're stripped. Perfect. All right. This might be a job for the vice grip. Yep. Try my best here. Oh, yep. Classic. There. Cracked her loose. Just spin her off with the wrench now. And we'll see. I think I can just pull it through the shock tower. I don't know which way, really, but can't matter all that much. Probably take it in this way since this fitting is smaller. There we go. Throw her in with our junk pile. You know, I do have new rubber hoses. I forget if I have rear ones or front ones or if they're the same. Don't know. So we'll hold off on this for now. I have to check my inventory. We'll go over to the other side, do the same quick. I have to take the little holders off here. Maybe 3/8, hopefully. Yep. Perfect. This one too. Yep. That's all that holds that one on. And then we just have that inside fitting to take off quick. We'll attempt just the wrenches to start. I'm guessing the top one will round off again. Yep. Okay. Yep. There. Cracked it. Adjustable wrench time. There. It's out. Kind of. Need to pull it up though. There. Okay, so I did get that power steering pump out and some of the hoses. As you can see, one I had to cut off there, and then the other one, let's see where that is. Wraps around, comes out there. So there were only 2 lines running into this, whatever this piece is, on the bottom of the pitman arm or whatever you want to call it. I was gonna take the steering gearbox out. This needs to either be tightened or replaced. And I was going to take some of these couplers off, slide them up so I could get the box out. Well, I put Loctite on these studs that you run in through this little D shaft. There's these little studs and then the nuts on top, and those studs that I put in, I put Loctite on them and I really torqued them down. Well, now when you go to try and get them out, I got 1, 2, 3, I think I got 3 out of 5 out, but these 2 snapped off. I don't have good enough drill bits to drill in and use a screw extractor, and I don't know if that'd even work. I tried drilling in, but as you can see, I did not get far. So I'm going to attempt to take a little bolt or something and weld it on there and then try and turn the bolt out to get that stud out. We'll see how that works. I've got like the 35 extension cords going out here to the welder. So, oh yeah, and I have some dirt in here too. Don't worry about that. But it's cold outside. I can't let this freeze. Heater's going, you know? We're gonna go ahead, flip this on here. Crank the gas on. Probably put this on a lower setting, which it is already. This might be perfect the way it is. I'll try it. Go ahead and glove up here real quick. I want to do one more tack maybe on this side, and we'll see what happens. All right, will this be any good? I doubt it. Maybe. You never know. No, okay, well, yeah, of course. Let's see. No, it's all hot here. I'm gonna try something else. Zap it on a little bit more up here, and then I'll try and take it out. Will this do anything at all? I'm doubtful. Let's see. Oh. No, I doubt it. Nope. Great. Now we actually, yeah, no, nothing. Well, what do you do in this situation? I really don't know. So unfortunately the welding did not work, but as you see I got this one stud out. You can see it on the end of the screw extractor. This screw extractor is alright. This is a Bosch set. It's not terrible. Works decently well. I did have to go and get these Milwaukee bits though. These are specifically for metal. It doesn't say the degree on them, but I'm guessing it's about 135. These were pretty pricey. They were 40 bucks for not that many. But it did work. I started with a smaller bit, then I moved to a bigger one, drilled in, and then I put that extractor in and I got them out. So I have this one left, and I believe that's the last one that's snapped. If I feel around here, yep. Okay. I guess to completely take all this apart, I still have to get this one out. Hopefully that one won't snap too. Has had some blaster on it. I got to drill this hole out a little bit bigger because the first hole that I drilled was too small for a smaller screw extractor. So now I have to do this, make it bigger, and use the bigger screw extractor. Go ahead, put some cutting fluid on there. Keep these bits sharp. Okay, well, the cutting fluid is almost gone, huh? There, got a little bit out. Yep, that'll work. I just go ahead and throw my little needle nose vice grip on here. Slowly start turning her in while applying pressure. Yeah, this probably isn't the best thing to use. You could use an actual tool. And my sockets will slip off once it gets really tight. So I don't know if you could use a drill or not to put this in. I think by hand is probably better. I'm gonna just try it up here to get it started now. Slowly forcing her out here. Well, look at that beauty. So let me show you what a different one looks like just for reference. So you got, let me get the light on this. You got your screw extractor, and there's a square part here, and that's what I've been using to turn. Well, I was doing that, and it snapped right off just because I was putting so much pressure on it. So now I had it still in there, and I couldn't even take the extractor out. I'm sure I could if I really tried hard, but it is really buried in there. So I just welded on a bolt. This is a little bit stronger of a bolt. We'll see if the welds even hold. I have no idea because I was messing with my settings on my new helmet. And I don't think I have very good penetration. So we'll see what happens though. Oh, we're moving it slowly. Oh, okay. Well, that's fun. What the hell just happened? Oh God, did I break the, yeah, okay. Well, that's just a fun night, huh? I broke the extractor off. Now it's inside that hole. Now, this, yeah. Couldn't get any better, huh? So, after a very, very lengthy process, I finally got that stud removed. So, at first, you know, the stud snapped on this right here. This is the hole. I painted everything black now because I had to do so much to all of this. Yeah, that stud snapped off in here, as you saw. Then I tried drilling through it. Well, I first tried welding some stuff onto it, and it didn't work. And then I eventually got some good drill bits. I drilled through the stud. That took, you know, some time, but I got through. I got my extractor into it. The other one was successful, but this one was the second snapped one. Put my extractor into it. I got the extractor, I was turning it, right, with a vice grip. The very top part of the extractor snapped off. So I move on, I try to keep turning it, and at this point the extractor is stuck inside here. It can't come out, it can't come out right, because you twisted it left. Yeah, so I tried the vice grip to try and twist it out, didn't work, so I ended up welding a bolt onto what was left of the extractor. I started getting it, and it actually turned the stud out a tiny bit, and then snap, the extractor snapped off inside. Now, at that point, I was just completely out of ideas because I don't care what drill bit you have, maybe like a super, super strong titanium, what do you call it? Something, maybe you could drill through a screw extractor, but it's such a hard metal. So I ended up having to take the steering column out. I didn't show you this. Take a whole bunch of junk out just so I could get the main piece out. I put it in a vise, or I put it in a drill press. I tried drilling through the extractor again, couldn't do it. I put it in a vise, I hammered into that hole, and then the D shaft was still in it at this point because that's holding it in. Then I clamped the D shaft with a vise, a benchtop vise, and just started wailing on this part of the rag joint. I didn't really bend it, but you can see there's some different shapes in that metal. Wailing on it, and then whoom, it came out. So at that point, I had the D shaft, that solid D shaft in here. I had the D shaft free, but there was still the screw extractor in the D shaft as well as in this hole. So I had to keep drilling into this forever, hammering, banging through it. I cleaned the D shaft off and tried my best. But the point is, I got the hole opened up and the D shaft's all ready. So everything would be ready to assemble. But for now, I'm still working on taking everything apart. We still have brakes left. We have the struts, and we have a lot of steering stuff. Yeah, I suppose I'm going to start probably taking the steering stuff apart first. We got a lot, and I have a lot of kits ordered for like rebuilding the, let's see here, the steering gearbox. That needs to be rebuilt. I thought I could just tighten it up a little bit, but I think it's going to need a complete rebuild. as well as the like that ramrod, the power steering, you know, the big hydraulic ram rebuild kit for that, or maybe it's just a seal kit, I forget. Also, a kit for the little valve body controller that goes on the pitman arm, and a new idler arm. Yeah, new control arms, everything's ordered. There's going to be a lot to do. I'll see. I think I'm going to try and start taking maybe the struts off here and stuff, and it's part of the steering. And eventually we will get to the brakes. Just going to take a long time. So I'm going to get to this. I got my creation all assembled here. I think this is an inch. I don't know what I have to do quite to take these little struts off. Also, it looks like there's an arch in them. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. The wall doesn't move it. I was expecting that. Red power. Yep. Okay, let's try this. Oh yeah. I got my socket stuck. I might have to tighten this back up, I guess. My socket and my swivel are stuck up there. There we go. I might have to find a shallower 1 inch. Yeah, this socket here is too long. It backs into the subframe or whatever. I think this one is a 1 inch too. It's just a little shallower. I don't know if it'll reach far enough up in there. Let's try it. Oh yeah, she's coming slowly. Again, I don't know how this stuff comes apart. I guess we're just going to find out. I guess I could take those pieces off maybe. That might help. I'll do that. Well, I figured it out. I unbolted it here by the brakes. I guess I didn't really need to do that. But as I was trying to get this nut out on the other side with the impact, this nut is spinning here. So I got to hang on to this one while I impact. Kind of a tough position here. I'll try it. Oh, come on now. Actually, what I might have had to do was leave the bolts in on the end of the strut over by the brakes, because now I have nothing to keep it from twisting around. Yep, well, you live, you learn, right? Well, that's interesting. I thought this would come out now. I guess I'm not understanding how this system works. Put the big Milwaukee on. Second setting. Yep, now she's got some torque. Oh, I'll just let her bottom out. Perfect. Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, how do you do this, huh? The smoke is rolling. I finally got her. I had to use some heat there. It just took forever to get that little nut out. I'll show you here what it looks like. That little nut goes on that really long stud, which goes through that bushing. Oh, watch where I'm putting my fingers. Goes through that bushing, comes here. There's another nut to lock it in place for your angle or however you adjust it. I guess you would probably adjust your toe here, and then that comes over here. So I finally got that out. Now I should be able to just undo the vice grip here, which is really clamped on. Yeah. And I think I can just take this out now. Oh yeah, and there's your bushing. Yeah, see, it's just a really long threaded piece. And on this side, I don't know if it was just so rusted or if the threads were messed up or what the deal was. But that, I mean, This has a lot of torque here, and I had it in its highest setting. Obviously, I'm losing quite a bit with this little swivel, but otherwise there'd be no other way to take it off with an impact. I'd have to use a breaker bar, and I don't want to sit there and do a tiny, tiny, tiny little turn every second. So this is going to be it for the second episode of this disassembly on the front end. The car doesn't look much different, but we definitely got some stuff out. A lot of stuff, that steering column too off camera, got the struts out, got to clean up all my tools now, so make sure you like, subscribe, comment. What do you want to see next? I think I'm just going to have to do brakes, take those apart, and take the rest of the steering apart, and that'll be it as far as everything goes for the front end. And after that, then we're going to start wire wheeling, painting, rebuilding stuff, replacing parts, putting in a new sway bar here. I have most of the stuff here actually delivered. I just need to get the work done. Take this control arm out too. There's still some work, needless to say, so we'll see. I'll be working on this car for a while here. I also have a 67 Pontiac Le Mans in the workings right now. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but I don't like the look of the 67s as much, but it kind of works out the way things are going. So this might be even next summer or something, but I should have a Le Mans on the way that is mostly complete, but it has not been driven since 1982. So kind of like this, but actually complete. You know, this probably was parked in 79 or something ridiculous, and then it was robbed for its parts, and I got it when it was hit, you know, damaged in a collision, everything stolen out of it, but that's the way it goes. So like, subscribe, comment, do all the things you normally do. I hope to see you next time.